Simple advice on interview questions. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and in today's video I've been asked a question about interview questions and how to respond to some of them. So we're just going to have a quick look through, and I'm going to go over to this mining resumes before and after, because we'll have a look at a mining resume just so we can go from there, because often the way the resume is set out can be the way the foreman or the project manager sort of looks at the way they're going to ask you the questions. Now, when I'm talking about interview questions, I'm looking at it from a hard rock underground production mining perspective. So yeah, it's going to be different horses for different courses. So what I'm dealing with, or what I'm talking about here, is how an entry-level person can navigate through some of these questions. If we click on to the Joe Boggs after, straight away you'll see the sponsors training on there, so that's going to get the foreman or the project manager's attention straight away. And we just like to keep it nice and simple and easy, so it's an easy 2-minute read for the foreman. And some of the questions that they're going to ask about your last jobs are, how have you impacted safety in the current workplace? How have you dealt with a difficult co-worker? What are you going to do if you see somebody not using their PPE or doing something wrong? It's all variations on the same thing. So the best advice for giving answers is give a specific answer to like if they get asked, how have you impacted safety? Give a demonstration of something that went wrong, maybe a spill or a trip, or something that happened that you went and cleaned up, or that you cordoned off, or that you spotted and fixed. It doesn't have to be as bigger than Ben Hur. You don't have to be reinventing, safety fundamentally at the ground level. They just want to know that you can identify a hazard and that you're aware that you've got to deal with them. And it goes a long way with the other questions too that they ask in these interviews. A lot of it's making sure that you'll try and resolve the problem yourself first, and then if you can't resolve the problem, you'll seek help from further up. And basically you just keep it nice and simple like that, and then they'll move on to your interests and your hobbies and a few other things, and where you see yourself in 3 or 5 years time. It's just the basic standard questions. And with going for a mining interview, one of the reasons that if you're a new starter that they put you through group activities is because they don't have anything to ask you about mining, because you've got no idea what's going on. Take it for example in an underground mine down the hole, they can't ask you any specific questions, so they put you through group activities. A lot of the big companies do now anyway, and the reason for that is they're just trying to pick people out that will cooperate and that will get in and be part of the team and all that sort of stuff. But if you've got a truck driver with 6 months experience that they can ask actual mining questions too, they're not putting them through those group activities. They're not doing that sort of stuff. They're just asking them the mining questions, and if they can get them right and they've got a good vibe and their references work out, they're giving them a job straight away. So interview questions, from my mind, especially if you're going for a production mining job, is all about keeping it simple. Don't try and oversell it too much. You've got to sell yourself, yes, but some people put on a song and dance, and that doesn't often impress the foreman or the project manager. And remember, it's the foreman or the project manager that you've got to impress to get the job. So what jobs are we talking about? Well, if you type underground into Seek, you'll see all these wonderful jobs come up, and there's truck drivers and nippers and trucks and all that sort of stuff. And Aries is looking again. You can apply directly to Aries from the back of the sponsors training. They'll have a look at anybody that's done the training these days. Goldfields is looking again. Everybody's looking all around the place. It's just that everybody needs people. There's just jobs all over the place. So if you do get yourself to a interview stage with the questions and all that sort of stuff, the best way to assure that you're going to get your job is to be prepared. And of course you can use the sponsors training for that, but you can also prepare yourself by having a look at some of the videos that I've done over the time now, and you can go through them and have a look at the mining info job videos, and then there's the mining job hunt videos as well that you can have a look at through here, that goes into where all the jobs are and where you should be applying for them. So I hope that information helps, and like I said, a few people have been asking questions about interviews. It's just all about just keeping it nice and simple. Yeah, don't try and reinvent the wheel, which a lot of people do and they get themselves into trouble in interviews. Just keep it about the work that you've been doing. You know, they don't want to hear about a whole heap of tickets that you've done. If you've used machinery before, they just want to know what the machine was, what you were doing with it, and how long you were doing it for, basically. And you know, if you can keep it in the confines of that, you'll be doing really well. So I hope you found that information helpful, and if you've got any questions about the industry or you want to have a chat to myself, you can leave a comment in the descriptions and I'll get in touch. But apart from that, if you can share this information around and like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.